Dear brothers in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to exercise piety. Piety means to fulfill all the obligations and to avoid all the prohibitions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, the ayah that means, and whoever fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will facilitate for him a way out of every calamity and will provide him with sustenance from sources which he never expects. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does whatever he wills. So brothers in Islam, fear Allah Azza wa Jal, and remember, by fearing Allah, by exercising piety, by fulfilling the obligations and avoiding the sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will facilitate for you a way out of every calamity that would face you in this life. And Allah will relieve you as well in the hereafter. But if you choose to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal and to commit sins, then let it be known to you that committing sins is a means for one to be deprived of the good health, of wealth, or loss in his money. To an extent that some of the scholars said a person may start forgetting the knowledge that he have acquired of the religion because of the sins he is committing. One of the righteous Muslims said, I know the consequences of my sin when I see my situation is changing and my friends are abandoning me. So no matter what happens to you, remember always to fear Allah and to exercise piety. And remember to rely on Allah Azza wa Jal, because Allah is the creator of the benefit and the harm. Keep in your heart this belief, exercise it, and live it on everyday basis. You will see that your life is way easier. You won't be worried about tomorrow or after tomorrow regarding worldly matters, because in your heart you have that firm belief. The sustenance that Allah Azza wa Jal willed for you will reach you no matter what. Even if all people were to come together to deprive you of the sustenance that Allah willed for you, they won't be able to. And if Allah did not will for you to get something, no matter how much effort you put to reach it, you will never reach it. But because the unforeseen is hidden from us, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, we take by the means, by the reasons, and we rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. One of the companions came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asking him about a camel that he had. He said to the Prophet, should I tie it or release it and rely on Allah Azza wa Jal? The Prophet said to him, tie it and rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. So there is no contradiction between taking by the means and relying on Allah Azza wa Jal. Like when you get sick, you take the medicine, which is a means for cure. But you know you might not be cured when you take that medicine, but still you take it. You're taken by the means, by the reasons. But your belief in your heart is that Allah is the creator of the cure. If Allah willed for you to be cured, you will be cured. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you have genuine reliance on Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will provide you with the sustenance that will be sufficient for you. Same as Allah provides the bird that leaves its nest early in the morning with empty stomach and comes back at the end of the day with full stomach. It doesn't have a mind. It doesn't realize. It doesn't know how to make contracts or dealings. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides it with its sustenance. If you have that genuine reliance on Allah, Allah will provide you with the sustenance that you need. Same as Allah provides the birds when they leave their nests early in the morning with empty stomach, and they come back at the end of the day with full stomach. So rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. If your situation changes, if you experience a decrease in your money, rely on Allah Azza wa Jal. And think about your situation. Maybe you have committed sins, and because of these sins, the misery of these sins was a reason for you to be deprived of this sustenance. And know that some might be inflicted with calamities in this life, not because they have committed sins, rather in order for their rank to be elevated in the hereafter. Like the prophets, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inflicts calamities upon the prophets so they can be raised in ranks. Same with the righteous Muslims. For that reason, the righteous Muslims used to rejoice the calamity as one of us would rejoice an endowment bestowed upon him by Allah Azza wa Jal. Because they know that in that calamity, there is goodness for them if they remain steadfast on obeying Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't be like those Allah mentioned in the Quran. They worship Allah and they are on the edge. As long as they receive the endowments from Allah Azza wa Jal, they remain steadfast on the obedience to Allah Azza wa Jal. But when they are inflicted with calamity, they turn on their faces. Don't be like that. Be steadfast. If you find that your sustenance is lessening, perform more acts of worship. Make istighfar. Say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And by making istighfar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will facilitate for you a way out of every calamity. Will relieve you from the distress that you have, and will provide you with sustenance from sources you never expect. Let us adhere to these teachings. Let us rely on Allah Azza wa Jal, whether we are in a good situation or in a bad situation. Always we should resort to the religion of Allah Azza wa Jal, and we find that there is cure and tranquility in this glorious religion, and Allah knows best.